Hi, I'm Chef Aaron Avers. I'm the executive chef at Four Forks Duluth. Today we are making our Springer Mountain Fried Chicken. I'm just going to show you my little take on how we do it up in Duluth. For a full list of ingredients, scroll down below the video and check us out. All right, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is build my sauce. We're going to take a saute pan, turn it on to high heat. Now here we have some yellow onions that I've diced up, a little bit of fresh thyme, and some honey. We're going to build our sauce using old-fashioned Guinness, one of my favorite beers. It's a nice mixture with the fried chicken and beer, kind of always goes together. So the first thing we're going to do with our hot pan is add a little bit of olive oil, give it a nice little grease to the bottom of it. We're going to add our onions, kind of saute them down. You want a nice flat layer of onions on the bottom, get them all greased up. Start hearing that sizzle sound, you'll know you're right in the money. Go ahead and add a handful of fresh thyme. No need to pick off the stems, we're going to be straining it all out a little later. Mix it all together until it's well incorporated. And you want the onions to turn kind of a translucent color, kind of bleeding that flavor out into the pan, so when you add your beer, it soaks it all up together. So you want to constantly be stirring the pan around. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to get the onions to the color and the light brownness that you want. The aroma that comes off of this thyme is very pungent. It'll smell up your whole house. So if you see the bits of the onion starting to turn brown right along the side, the color has changed just a little bit. And that's kind of a perfect consistency for us. I got 2 bottles of standard Guinness Extra Stout. Yum, yum. I'm going to pour them right in. Now the key to this sauce is not to over-reduce the beer. The hop in the beer, as you reduce it, gets very bitter. So you want to be careful. And that's actually where the honey comes in as well. It adds a little sweetness to the bitterness as you cook the beer. You just want the beer to start to come to a boil, and then we'll add our honey. So as you can see, the Guinness is just starting to come to a boil around the outside, and that's now where we're going to add our honey. Add about a cup's worth of honey, and just stir it right into the sauce. Once you fully incorporate the honey, you can turn the flame off and just set the sauce aside, and it can steep in its own effervescence for the next 10 to 15 minutes until the chicken's ready. All right, now we're going to move on to our chicken. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some gloves because this is going to get a little messy. Now what I have in front of me is 2 Springer Mountain chickens broken down into breasts, legs, and thighs. The breasts are boneless. I keep the skin on because fried chicken skin, obviously, come on, it's probably the best part. I'm going to give the chicken a little bit of a light Old Bay seasoning. Give it a light toss. Now I've already seasoned the flour, so you just need a little bit on the chicken, a little bit in the flour, and it should be pretty complete. Now we're going to build our egg wash. It's a very necessary product when you're doing fried chicken. Anything deep fried with a dry batter, it's always flour, batter, flour. Our batter today is going to be a little bit of heavy cream and just 2 whole eggs. You're going to crack both the eggs, put them right into the cream. You're going to get a fork, break up the yolks, kind of mix it together like you were doing scrambled eggs, but obviously it's a lot more cream than eggs on this point. And then once you get that fully incorporated, we'll move right on to our flour. Right here I have some basic all-purpose flour with a little bit of our Old Bay seasoning in it. We'll start with our chicken breasts. You'll mix the flour together. You're going to lightly coat and pat down your chicken. You're going to drop it into the egg wash batter. Make sure you cover both sides completely, and then go right back into the flour. You're going to push down a little bit. Make sure the flour sticks to the actual chicken. So we got our breast done, and let's go ahead and do our leg and our thigh. All right, now that we got all of our chicken breaded, we're going to go right into our fryer. So we're frying in a cast iron skillet today with some basic canola oil. It's roughly about 325 degrees. It's enough to cook the chicken thoroughly without over browning the flour on the outside. So we go carefully into the fryer, kind of giving a little swim motion so it doesn't fall and stick right to the bottom. Key thing to think about when you're going into your fryer, be very careful because the flame underneath, when you're adding a moisture to a hot oil, the oil will expand, and majority of the people will catch their pan on fire. So you got to make sure, especially with the bigger pieces, that you're letting it down very easily. The hot oil will burn you if it touches you. We got our chicken going. It'll take about 10 minutes total. We'll check to make sure the temperature is 165 degrees, so it's fully cooked. So now that the chicken's starting to turn brown, you just see it's going to be floating just a little bit to let you know that it's basically fully cooked. We're going to take each piece out very carefully after we turn off the flame. We're going to lay it into a paper towel lined tray to kind of grab some of that excess grease before we put it on the plate. And as you can see, deliciously golden brown chicken. So what I've done is I've roasted some red potatoes and some baby tricolored carrots. We're just going to garnish the plate a little bit. Then we're going to move on in with our chicken. Start with the breast and the thigh, the biggest pieces. Make some height to your plate. Then we're going to go back to our Guinness honey glaze and kind of spoon a little bit right over top. Don't worry about getting some of the onions in there. It's just added flavor. All right. I like a little puddle at the bottom so as you cut your chicken up, you kind of got something to sop your meat into. And there you have it. There's my take on Springer Mountain Fried Chicken. For more recipes like this, visit springermtn.com. Thanks for watching.